श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चिन्मन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्यस्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
कृष्ण पावनी भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
सर्वेषु भूतेषु तिष्ठन्तं परमेश्वरं विनश्यत्स विनश्यन्तं यः पश्यति स पश्यति।
गुड।
शारदा राजन भगिनी।
समं पश्यन् हि सर्वत्र समवस्थितमीश्वरं न हि नस्त्यात्मनात्मानं ततो याति परां गतिम्।
गुड।
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति।
गुड।
ललिता भगिनी।
यदा भूतपृथग्भावम् एकस्तमनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारं ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा।
गुड।
भानुरेखा भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
अनादित्वा निर्गुणत्वात् परमात्मायमव्ययः शरीरस्थोऽपि कौन्तेय न करोति न लिप्यते।
गुड।
शीला शिंदे भगिनी।
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशं नोपलिप्यते सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते.
Good. So we'll go to the new Shloka for today.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी।
यथा प्रकाशयत् एकः
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः
कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः
कृत्स्नल्लोकमिमं रविः कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः
यथा प्रकाशयत् एकः कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नल्लोकमिमं रविः यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नल्लोकमिमं रविः।
Good. Next.
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं
प्रकाशयति भारत
प्रकाशयति भारत प्रकाशयति भारत।
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. Next.
वीणाफानिश्री भगिनी.
यथा प्रकाशयत् एकः कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृष्णल्लोकमिमं रविः यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृष्णल्लोकमिमं रविः.
Good. Next.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. Next.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी.
यथा प्रकाशयत् एकः कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नं लोकमिमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. Next.
शरद चवन महोदय.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, full shloka.
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृष्णं लोकमिमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. Next.
राजेश्वरी शिवशंकर भगिनी.
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नल्लोकमिमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. One more person.
मृणालिनी गोपालन भगिनी.
आम्. यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः कृत्स्नल्लोक इमं रविः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृत्स्नं प्रकाशयति भारत.
Good. So the previous shloka, Bhagavan has taken the example of Akasham. So what are the things that he talked about Akasha as similar to that of Atma was Ekatvam. There's only one Akasham, there's only one space, which we discussed very elaborately yesterday. Only one space. Similarly, Atma is also only one. Atma is same Brahman. So Ekatvam is one of the qualities of space as well as Atma. The other quality that we discussed was Sarva Vyapakatvam. It pervades everywhere. Space pervades, Atma pervades, Brahman pervades. Achalatvam, it does not move. Space does not move. Okay. And Atma is also Achalatvam. Nirvikaratvam. Nirvikara means it does not undergo any changes. Brahman, Atma, space, etc. does not undergo any kind of change. Akhandatvam, it is not there available in parts. Okay, it is not that it can be part by part, it can be distributed. No, it is akhandatvam. Asangha means it can never be polluted. That's what it said. Akasham na upalipyate, tata atma na upalipyate. It can never get polluted, though it might be in the presence of some of the prakriti. So it is asangha. And then sarva adaratvam. Everything is sustained only by space. Everything is again sustained only by Atma, Brahman. Brahman is the universal substratum for the existence of everything that we see in the world. And lastly, Sukshmatvam. Sukshmatvam is, it is Saukshmyad means Sukshmatvam, which is subtle. So yesterday it was taken as Akasha versus Atma comparison. Today he is talking about light and Atma. Yata, just as Ekaha Ravihi. Okay, prakashayat ekah krishnam lokamimam ravihi. Ekah ravihi means there's only one sun. Okay, this one sun, imam lokam, this entire loka, krishnam is completely prakashayat. Yes, there's only one sun which is able to provide the entire loka with its light. Right? It illumines the entire world. Right? And we also discussed yesterday about the sun just illumines. It does not have any kind of karta. It doesn't say that I am coming into the earth, I am shining this world for doing so and so things. No, it just is mere presence and existence of sun makes the entire prakriti coming into action. So yata ekah ravihi imam loka krishnam prakashayat. How it is able to make the entire thing illumine. Similarly, tata krishnam kshetri, the entire kshetra is kshetram prakashayati. The presence of Atma is able to illumine the entire body-mind complex. So that is the understanding. Like the way the sun is able to provide without getting engaged into it. Like we talked about ekatvam, sarva vyakatvam, achalatvam, asangatvam, akhandatvam, all these things. And asanga unpolluted, it is just in the mere presence of it, the entire universe is illumined. The mere presence of Atma in the kshetram, that is the body mind complex, is in getting illumined, presence of Atma. So that is the kind of comparison that they have made in the case of Atma and light in this particular case. So we have to understand that it is also sukshma. And another thing that we have to understand about light is also sukshma. Light is not available for our perception. This is a revelation to me also. I thought we all see light. Actually, we cannot see light. If you have to think about it. Whatever we see is an object in the presence of light. We don't see light. So light as such, that is a shining body is there. That's right. But light as such, whatever is there pervading in the room, is not seen by us. We only see the objects. That's it. It's a very, when I say it's very, sometimes it may be possible for you to grasp it, or you may find it slightly difficult to do it. But think about it. In fact, I thought about it, and it was a very great understanding I had when I was reading that. Only I realized that light is not possible to be seen. You cannot see light. It is only the objects that are visible to us in the presence of light. Light is there. Means in the presence of light we see, but we cannot see light. Where is light? We don't know. We cannot see. So it is beyond our perceptions. Okay, Pancha Jnanendriyani cannot perceive. You cannot smell, you cannot taste, you cannot see because I do not know how to see light. All these kinds of five perceptions, Jnanendriyani will not be able to perceive light. Similarly, Atma is also something that is not possible to be perceived, is Sukshmam. And only in the presence of Atma, the entire body comes into enliven. Body enlivens in the presence of this Atma. And they both are Sukshma. And secondly, we have to understand that whenever we look at the object, it is a combination of light plus the object. Similarly, this particular Shariram, kind of sentient Shariram, the Shariram which is having the kind of consciousness is a mixture of Prakriti and Purusha. That is understanding that one needs to have in this particular shloka. Yata prakashayati ekah ravihi lokam imam krishnam prakashayati tata kshetram prakashayati krishnam. Entire thing it is able to provide illumination. So that is what we have to understand about this. Okay. Next.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
क्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम्
क्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम्
अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा
अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा
क्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् Antaranyana-chakshusha.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
Bhuta prakriti mokshancha.
भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च
Ye viduryanti te param.
ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम् ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्
Bhuta prakriti mokshancha. Ye viduryanti te param.
भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम् भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा.
Good. Next.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
Bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduryanti te param.
भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम् भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Full shloka once.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतः प्रकृतिमोक्षञ्च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. One more person.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोरेवम् अन्तरज्ञानचक्षुषा भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुर्यान्ति ते परम्.
Good. So now Bhagavan concludes this chapter, and what he says is that ye viduhu. Ye means those people who understand or who knows this. What? Kshetra kshetrajnayoho antaram. That is the distinction between kshetram and kshetrajna. Okay. In this manner, evam. In this manner, ye viduhu evam. People, those people who understand this manner, kshetra kshetrajna antaram. The distinction between what is kshetra, that what is prakriti, and what is kshetrajna, what is purusha. How do they know about it? Because understanding purusha, you need to have a jnana chakshu. You are not able to, you cannot see the Atma and Kshetrajnam by your normal thing. You need to have a jnana chakshu, the knowledge of eye, the eye of knowledge. That means that one has got to cultivate an internal capability of understanding, because it is not perceptible for the eye. So you need to have a jnana chakshu, like the way the jnana chakshu was given for, I think that is a different kind of jnana chakshu, but here the jnana chakshu that we need to talk about is that by your own understanding, you are able to appreciate the Atma and know that. So that is jnana chakshu. The other jnana chakshu was that which was given to Sanjaya by Vyasa, so that he was able to sit in a remote place and then look at that. And once again, also one more time, also Bhagavan gave jnana chakshu to Arjuna for seeing Vishwarupam. That is all, they were able to see something reality. But in this particular case, this jnana chakshu is understanding the eye of knowledge. With the eye of knowledge only, they will be able to understand the distinction between kshetra and kshetrajna. That is again, there are a couple of examples you can look into it. When you see a fan rotating, okay, we only physically see the fan rotating, but there is an electricity behind that, right? In the absence of electricity, which is not visible to us, the fan will not be able to function. The TV will not be able to function. So there is an invisible element which is making a visible thing to function. This body is functioning as a visible thing, but there's an invisible agent which is making this particular body to function. That is the consciousness. Like the way electricity is there for the fan to function, and the electricity being invisible but making their function, consciousness, that is kshetrajnam, is one of the most important things that is able to make this body sentient. The other thing is that we also knew that in the presence of consciousness only, it is possible. For example, we always fail to recognize the consciousness. When you are looking at a movie, the entire movie, you are seeing it for 2 hours or 2.5 hours, we see that. But the movie, you cannot see if there was no screen. The screen is always there. And in the screen, in the presence of screen only, you can see the movie. In the presence of consciousness only, things are all visible to us. The presence of light only, everything is visible to us. Presence of electricity only, the fan is able to run. Similarly, in the presence of screen only, everything is going to be visible for a person who is seeing the movie. And another important thing is that we talked about asanga. You may be seeing a movie where the Twin Towers in United States are getting blown off. And it is so realistic in 3D. You see that the entire thing is full of fire, and then the flights are going and ramming. But do you think that the screen is going to get anyway affected with the fire? Or the Titanic ship is sinking, that water is not going to wet the screen. It's all the kind of, absolutely asanga. What is happening is on the screen only. The screen is untouched by what is happening. Similarly, the consciousness is untouched by whatever is happening in the kshetram. So the one who is able to appreciate this, okay, kshetra, kshetrajna, difference, distinction, through their eye of wisdom, then they will be able to Bhuta Prakriti Moksham. They will be able to, Bhuta Prakriti means what? From the Prakriti only everything is created. All the creations come out of Prakriti. Bhutam also comes out of Prakriti. The body is born out of Prakriti, but the body, when it is having the consciousness presence in there, it becomes a Chaitanyam. Otherwise, the body creation is Prakriti. So, Bhuta Prakriti means the creation of the body also to the origin of the body to the Prakriti. Moksham, you will be able to get freedom from that kind of recreation of the body after every time the body falls and dies, and then your karma comes in, and then you once again get born. So once you are able to have that understanding that Atma, I am Atma is Brahma, the Atma that I have is Brahman, then Buddha Prakriti Moksham, you are able to get yourself freed from the cause of this particular body creation. And then what happens ultimately? Yanti te param. Those people will be able to achieve the ultimate supreme. Yeah, they will be able to achieve the supreme. That is, they will be able to merge with the oneness of the Bhagavan, Atma and Paramatma. The oneness will be established. So that is the ultimate completion of this particular chapter. Kshetra kshetrajnayor evam antaranyana chakshusha bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduhu yanti te param. So that is what he has concluded. And in this particular chapter, what Bhagavan has been talking is that he was trying to make us understand that there is a very clear distinction between what is kshetra and what is kshetrajna. what is Prakriti, what is Purusha, what is Jnanam, what is to be known, knower, known. He has told us very, very clearly that we have to understand this distinction. Only when we are able to distinguish all these kinds of things, though we may be operating ourselves in this particular world of materials and world of activities, external world of activities, we still have a very clear understanding that what is the one that is transacting is a body-mind complex. Atma is Akartaram, and this is the combination of Prakriti and Purusha. So I am, my true nature is Purusha, not Prakriti. Prakriti has got all the vikarams. Prakriti does not have Akandatvam. Prakriti is not Ekatvam. So all those understanding you should have. Though you will be only seeing this as a combination and you cannot differentiate the Atma from the body, we still will be able to understand that this is what is a principle, because those things have got to be understood only through the buddhi. With that buddhi faculty, we understand this differentiation between kshetram and kshetrajnam, through which we try to understand what Atma is. This is also called another principle called neti, neti in Sanskrit. Neti means not this, not this, not this. Na iti is not this. As Atma, as an object, is not possible to be quantified or qualified. We are now trying to negate everything that we know to show that that is not Atma. This is not Atma. This is not Atma. So once you come to that understanding of negating everything that you know, then you get into a kind of thought process to find out what is that Atma is. Because this is not that, this is not that, that is not that, then what is it? Then the inquiry starts getting into who am I? And then understanding that who am I with the various kinds of shastra that we have learned, and with the help of Guru who will be able to clarify your doubts, and then removing all these kinds of malas, the bala divritti and all the divritti that we talked about, one will be able to progress spiritually in terms of having cognitive understanding of one's own Atma. Once a person knows that my true sense, that I am my that is the my true sense is Atma. Okay, once they understand their true self, then that becomes self-realization. So this is to understand from Kshetram and Kshetrajnam. That is, the entire chapter has been covered, and I'm sure that all of you would have enjoyed this chapter and would have got the essence of the meaning of this particular chapter. So with this, we are completing this chapter, and we'll take the concluding shloka. One or two of you people, two people can chant this. Huh? Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayai Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Savvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayah. Om Tat Sat.
Vijayalakshmi Bhagini.
ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञविभागयोगो नाम त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः। ॐ तत्सत्।
Srilakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, sir. Om Tatsaditi Shrimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma-Vidyaya Yoga-Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna-Samvade Kshetra-Kshetra-Vibhaga-Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayah.
Good. So we'll complete the Om Tat Sat. Okay, we'll complete this and then I'll chant these two slokas and we'll go forward. Yatha prakashayat yekah kritsnan lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsam prakashayati bharata kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaranyana chakshusha bhuta Prakriti mokshancha ye viduryanti te param. Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayah Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Live has to be closed, Mahodaya.
No. I am sharing the other one now. I am opening the next one.
Okay.
Just give me a minute.
Okay.
You can see the screen now?
Yes, Mahodaya, but it's not seen full screen.
I'm just opening it up. Is it okay now?
Yes, Mahodaya.
Okay?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Mahodaya.
Okay. So we'll start with the 14th chapter now. Okay, before we start, I'll just give a small brief introduction to it. The 14th chapter is called Guna Traya Vibhaga Yoga. That is, it is going to be talking about the three gunas. Okay, we all know that the three gunas are Sattva Gunam, Rajo Gunam, and Tamasa Gunam. So these are three gunas. And today I circulated one document to all of you, wherein I told about what is the importance of Sattva Guna in terms of spiritual growth. The same thing we had discussed long time back also. At the month of May, we had discussed the same thing. But I just thought it is essential that we all need to have a look at it. So I sent it this morning. So when you look at that, chapter 13, 14, 15 also, Bhagavan is now trying to start giving us a lot more amount of information to have the Tattva Jnana, the Atma principle that he is trying to give. But Atma principle, as I told you, it's not possible to understand the Atma as it is not an objectifiable thing that can be shown with the gunas, etc. He is now trying to say what it is all not. He has given the high level Lakshanam of Atma. The second chapter he has talked about in the previous chapter also he has talked about Atma in a very great detail. Took examples like space, he took examples like light, etc. And he was trying to explain the principle of Atma being the underlying principle, which also he covered in the 7th chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, and all those things he has given the principle of Atma. Okay. Then Prakriti and Purusha, all those things we have talked about. Now, we have understood that if the Atma is primarily Chetanam, it is the principle of Chaitanyam is Atma. The other important Lakshana of Atma is Nirgunam. It does not have any kind of attributes. Nirvikaram, it does not undergo any kind of change. It is Satyam. So all those things we have now understood about Atma. So if Atma is going to be Nirgunam, then Atma should be beyond all the gunas that we come across in this world, right? So if that is the case, we need to understand by our own interaction with the world of things, we may be interacting with lot of various kinds of attributes. So we need to understand the attributes, and the attributes have already been understood in three different forms like Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamasa Guna. And knowing those attributes and how that also act upon an individual, we try to understand that these are not going to be Nirgunam. These are all only Sagunam. Anything that is Sagunam is not Atma. So if I have these kinds of things, that is not Atma. So it is a kind of Neti principle. Nagiti. These are things having attributes. So that is not Atma. So now, in the earlier chapter, he was talking about Prakriti and Purusha. That Vibhava, that distinction he talked about, and then said anything that is Prakriti is not Atma. In this chapter, he is going to talk about anything that is having attribute is not Atma. Okay. For example, in the case of, this is not the right example, but still I can give it. A doctor is responsible for providing what? Good health. Okay. But do you think the doctor will be studying only about health? He'll only start to talk. The entire life of a doctor in his education, he'll study only sickness. Understanding sickness, they come to health. Understanding everything that is anatma, we try to understand what atma is. So all these gunas are anatma. They are not atma. So that is saguna. Atma is nirguna. So the entire effort in the 14th chapter is going to be in terms of understanding the gunas. There are 3 gunas, that is sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. And atma is gunatita. It is beyond the 3 gunas. It is nirgunam. So that is, if you look at that way, so the sattva, rajo, and tamo guna are all sagunas. They are all sagunas. Whereas atma is nirguna. So we have to understand these sagunas in order to know nirguna, because anything that is saguna is not nirguna. That is going to be the entire focus that Bhagavan is going to give in the case of the 14th chapter. That is guna, traya, vibhaka, yoga. And they have also, the entire universe has been now classified into 3 different gunas: sattva, rajo, and tamo guna. And Bhagavan is now going to talk about these 3 gunas very beautifully. And another important thing is that in the earlier chapter, 13th chapter, Arjuna asked the question. He told, Arjuna Uvacha, he wanted to have the understanding of Kshetram, Kshetri, and then Prakriti, all those kinds of things. He only asked, I want to understand about 6 topics. So Bhagavan had expanded on those particular topics that Arjuna wanted. In this particular case, Bhagavan is not waiting for Arjuna to ask any kind of clarification. Bhagavan felt it is essential that he has got to start talking straight away about these gunas, because he felt that repeating some of the things which may be often, there could be a lot of things that will be overlapping. But he still felt that because the subject is going to be so difficult and so subtle to understand, as it is not objectifiable, he felt that repeating it in some other way and some other direction also is better for the people to understand. So Bhagavan, without even Arjuna asking a question, he starts giving this particular topic himself about Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So we will start now discussing about the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. Primarily, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga is going to be providing Nirguna Tattvam of Atma. So to understand Nirguna Tattvam of Atma, as I told, we are going to understand Saguna Tattvam. What is all Saguna? What is Sattva, Rajo, Tamo Guna? All those things we'll understand. 1. And secondly, understanding Atma, which is supposed to be Nirgunam, Nirvikaram, all those things, which is a Purusham, we need to have the help of Prakriti. So we understood that we cannot understand, or we cannot have a cognition of Atma, which is Nirgunam, Nirvikaram, etc., without the help of Prakriti. What is that Prakriti? Buddhi, right? So only with Buddhi, we will be able to understand what Atma is, correct? So in this particular case also, we are trying to understand Nirgunam by knowing all these things, but a Sattva Guna, which is supposed to be one of the exhibiting qualities of individuals, okay, and that particular quality people only will be able to have the capability of mind faculty, which will be able to understand the principle of Atma. So he'll talk about Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna, etc. in detail. But we need to be very, very clear. If we have to be on a spiritual journey, we need to cultivate only Sattva Guna. Only Sattva Guna is the one that is going to provide us with the tool and capability in the mind, in the buddhi, to understand and cognize Atma. So we have to be very clear as to why Bhagavan is spending so much time on all these gunas is, we have to say that he says all these 3 things are available. The menu is available. You have to pick up Sattva Guna. If you say that I want to be now liberated, I want to get moksham, then Sattva Guna is the right guna that we need to cultivate. So that is another thing that we need to understand. Okay. So with this, we'll start now. Yes. Can you all call somebody?
Yeah. Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रय विभाग योगः श्रीभगवान् उवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः गुणत्रय विभाग योगः। श्री भगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्।
Once again, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
श्री भगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्।
Just give me 1 minute. Sorry. Thank you. यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे
परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः।
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम् श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम्।
Next.
Sharat Chavan Mohodaya.
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
गताः not गतः गताः
गताः यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः।
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः।
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
श्री भगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः।
Next.
Lalita Bhagini.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानाज्ञानमुत्तमम् यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे param siddhimito gataha.
Good. One more person.
Sharada Rajan Bagini.
श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूयः प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमं यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः.
Okay, so here Bhagavan says, Bhuyaha. Bhuyaha means again. Again, Pravakshyami. He says, again I'll tell you. What is that he wants to tell now? He's telling on his own without even Arjuna asking for it. Bhuyaha Pravakshyami. Jnananam Jnanam Uttamam Param. So I'll tell you about the supreme knowledge, which is the knowledge of knowledge. Jnananam Jnanam Uttama knowledge. So I'll tell you about that Uttama knowledge. So there's many of these kinds of things he has told earlier also. No? For example, in the chapter 13 itself, Shloka 12, Nyayam Yattat Pravakshyami Yajñatva Amrutamashmute. He told that when you have understood that, you will be able to get Jnanam, you will be able to get Amrutam. So many places he said that once you have this knowledge, you will be able to cross over the entire cycle of life and death. The Janana Marana and all, you'll be able to overcome. So similarly, he's now telling, I'll tell you, Bhuyaha Pravakshyami, I'll again tell you. So he is now continuously insisting and he's telling that I'll be again giving you the knowledge. I'll again be giving you knowledge. Earlier I told you Kshetram, Kshetrajam. Now I'll talk to you about the Nirguna and Sarguna. So Parambhuya Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam. Amongst knowledges, this is the highest level of knowledge. Highest level of knowledge. He says there are two things he's telling. He says Param Jnanam and Uttama Jnanam. Both he is telling. You know, Param Jnanam, Uttamam. Uttamam itself is the highest, greatest knowledge. And he said, Param Jnanam. Param Jnanam is not only a greatest knowledge, but this the supreme knowledge is going to provide you with a kind of liberation or moksham. That is, this is once you have this knowledge, there's nothing else that you may have to know. He has told a similar kind of thing. He has also told in another shloka. I am not able to immediately recollect. Some of you will be able to recollect that. He had told that. This is the supreme knowledge. Once you know that, everything else is a secondary only. So he says that I'll again tell you. Then what is the advantage? What is the palam of knowing this knowledge? Yad jnatva, on knowing this, munayaha sarve, all the seekers, munis. Okay, munis are the people who, not necessarily the people who are going to be saint. Even a person, a karma yogi, can also be going to that level of muni, provided they have four kinds of qualities. They say 4 Ds. Swami Paramatmananda, no, he says there are 4 Ds. The Ds are, one is discrimination, second thing is dispassion, third thing is discipline, and fourth thing is desire for moksha. If somebody is having discrimination is what? Very clearly he knows what is jnanam and what is nyayam, what is prakriti, what is purusham, what is dharma, what is adharma. So they have to have a very clear demarcation. When I see an object, what is the object, what is life? Chetanam, jadam. So the discrimination is very, very important for somebody who has to gain the knowledge. So discrimination, these people, munaya, when you say munis, munayaha means rishi, the munis, it is plural. So they have discrimination. And then they have got dispassion. They are people who are already come out of these kinds of raga dveshas. They are able to be absolutely detached. So dispassion is another quality for these munis. The third one is they are very disciplined. They are not going to be, they will absolutely be disciplined in terms of what they need to do, and disciplined in terms of how they niyamam, how they behave within a group, and also within themselves also how they have to have discipline. All those things, like the way they have a self-control, the way they have the indriyadi control, the mind control, and the way they behave with the people outside, everything they have got absolute discipline. So discipline is the third quality, and desire, strong desire for moksha. They all feel that having taken this body, this is an opportunity I have got to be in this particular body, and when I am in this body itself, I need to ensure that I understand myself and then realize myself and then liberate myself. So that is strong desire. So discrimination, dispassion, discipline, and desire for moksha, those people are the munis, and they have been able to what? Survey all these people with those kinds of qualities, having known this, yadi jnatva munayaha sarve, param siddhim itagataha, they were able to achieve the supreme. what is the supreme, they were able to understand their own Atma. They were able to understand that the Atma in them is the Brahman, and then they were able to absolutely become liberated, moksham. When they are living itself, they become a kind of a Jivan Mukti. That is, they were able to ensure that they were living in this body for prarabdha purposes, and once the body falls, they are liberated. And they also, once the body is cremated and all, they also have a Videha Mukti, means they will have no more Deha for them, because they have already cut off themselves from the Sanchita Karmas. So, so Param Gataha Siddhim Itaha Munaya Sarve, they were able to achieve this highest supreme level, these munis with these kinds of qualities. So, what is that knowledge? I'll again tell you. Bhuyaha Pravakshyami. That's what Bhagavad says. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bagini.
Idanyānamupāśritya
idanyānamupāśritya
mama sadharmyamāgataha
mama sadharmyamāgataha
idanyānamupāśritya mama sadharmyamāgataha
idanyānamupāśritya mama sadharmyamāgataha idanyānamupāśritya mama sadharmyamāgataha.
Good. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bagini.
Sarge pinopajayante
Sarge pinopajayante Sarge pinopajayante
pralayena vyatanti cha
Pralayena vyatanti cha Pralayena vyatanti cha
Sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha
Sarge pinopajayante Pralayena vyatanti cha Sarge pinopajayante Pralayena vyatanti cha.
Next.
Veena Fanishri Bagini.
idanyānamupāśritya mama sadharmyamāgataha
ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः इदञ्ज्ञानमुपाश्रित्य मम साधर्म्यमागताः.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bagini.
Sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha
Usha Srinivasan Bagini. Okay, Vijayalakshmi Bagini.
सर्गे पीनोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यदन्ति च सर्गे पीनोपजायन्ते प्रलयेन व्यदन्ति च.
Next.
Lalita Bagini.
idanyānamupāśritya mama sadharmyamāgataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha
idam jnanamupasritya mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyadhanti cha.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini.
Idam jnanamupasritya mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha.
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bagini.
Is the full shloka, sir?
Yeah.
Idang jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyathanti cha.
Good. So in this sloka, he's telling that idam jnanam upashitya. This knowledge, whatever I'm going to impart, he said, I'm going to give you this knowledge in the previous sloka. Whatever knowledge I'm going to give, upashitya, on understanding that and following that, whatever I'm telling you now, then what happens? What is the outcome of doing that? Palam for that, mama sadharmya magataha. You will be able to get my own nature. You will be able to arrive at my own nature in you, or you will become one with me. Mama sadharmya magataha. The knowledge that I am going to impart to you, after understanding that and following that, you will be able to become one with me. You will be able to get my own bhava. You will be able to get into my own nature. Then, what is the advantage for that? Once you get into that, pralaye na vyatanti cha. I was telling you about they become a Jivan Mukti if they are able to understand that I am the Brahman, I am Atma Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, then they are very clear that their nature is not the body, they are the Atma. Once they realize that when the body falls, they do not have any kind of past karmas for them to get a new body. So they are able to get rid of this body and then they become Jivan Mukta. And also after the body is cremated, they become Videha Mukta also. So when they become Videha Mukta, Videha Mukta, yeah, then what happens is that when Pralayam takes place, when the Pralayam is going to be there, the dissolution takes place after so many cycles of so many years, which we have studied in the 8th chapter, Akshar Brahma Yogam, then everything is going to be dissolved. You know, all the things, all the entities are going to get dissolved into the in the universe, right? That is pralayam. At that time, because these people have already got liberated, they are not going to be disturbed at all at the time of pralayam also. Whereas all other things, all other living beings will get into unmanifest form. That is when Brahma is going to close his eyes, everything becomes unmanifest form. And then when he is going to open his eyes, again your cumulative sanchita karmas, based on that, you'll be again starting to get a birth and then janmas will be created. The creation, the beginning of creation, all those karmas will again start fructifying. So whereas these kinds of people, they will not be worried, they will not be disturbed at the time of pralaya and sargepi. At the time of creation, these people na upajayante, they will not be born also because they already know they are the Brahman and they already mixed with the Brahman, they joined with the Brahman, oneness with the Brahman. So for them, pralayam or sargam has got absolutely no effect because they have gone beyond that. So that is the jnanam that I am going to tell you. Please understand this jnanam and then follow that. By doing that, you'll be able to reach my own nature and you'll be able to become one with me. That's what Bhagavan says in this slokam. Idhan jnanamupashritya mama sadharmyamagataha sarge pinopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. With this, we'll close today. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Chadurdashodhyayah Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogaha Shri Bhagavanuvacha Param Bhuyah Praya Pravakshyami Jnanana Jnanamuttamam Yajñātvā Munayas Sarve Param Siddhimito Gataha Idhan Jnanamupashritya Mama sadharmyamagataha sargepi nopajayante pralayena vyatanti cha. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Guru